Okay, so you should have hopefully gone onto the LMS and had a little bit of a reflection using our class canvas. Just on that, something else you may like to think about, I'm not going to ask you to do this activity, but using the headlines thinking routine, and headlines is something that you can go and research yourselves. However, it's basically just taking a bunch of information and choosing the most important parts from it to create a headline, just like in a newspaper. So if you were to write a headline on the use of comics and animation in teaching and learning right now, what would that headline be? So something for you to have a little think about to yourself. Here's just a couple of examples of some of the headlines. So you've got what biology is all about, climate suits, so that could be something interesting for them to have a look at, modern world, Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. So all of these bits and pieces put together in the language form and also the pictorial form is what creates a headline. Now, using comics and animations in teaching and learning, it's really important. It harnesses students' interest in the genre, it gives visual support and aids comprehension. Not all students are amazing readers. They need those visual cues. I've got a student in my class at the moment in Year 4, and she has quite a severe intellectual disability, and she cannot digest big chunks of information. So providing them to her in a comic form or in something that's a little bit more digestible makes it much easier for her to understand. It also opens students' language right up, so looking at different words that they may not come across in everyday speak or in an educational context. So the benefits for students producing comics and animations, it gives them the opportunity to explore and express their understanding of a topic or a concept and engage in higher order thinking. Now, higher order thinking is super important, and it's something that I've always got up on my wall. I'm going to come down here. So you can see there's a whole range of higher order thinking skills. I'm looking at one here, it's thinking independently, applying past knowledge to new situations, striving for accuracy, gathering data through all the senses, and there's so many other ones up there that are really important. So if you're not already familiar with what higher order thinking is, I would highly recommend having a little bit of a look through that, because it's critical to a lot of teaching elements. And it also is really good in this section here talking about multimodal elements of a text to effectively communicate a message. So if I just skip back to the slide before, this here is a slide just about digital citizenship, I suppose. So it's a great opportunity for students to really consider in this context how they treat students online. So you could use something like we've got here. It's a bit of a bullying situation online. You might be able to get them to step outside of themselves, put themselves into a comic, and think about, I don't know, how others might feel in a situation. So it's really good to get them to really get their digital citizenship and literacy up to scratch in the context of bullying and online harassment and things like that. Now, not citing your sources is called plagiarism. I'm sure you have been harassed over and over and over again about plagiarism online. This one is not one that is a video. Sometimes it comes up as a video, but that's not it. So please make sure that when you are using anything online that you are citing your sources, because you don't want to be caught up in the whole plagiarism side of things, and that will come through a little bit more strongly throughout this unit as we continue on. Now, your task for this week is, your marked task is to develop your comic or a comic or an animation. So your job is to create a 3 to 6 panel comic on any aspect of good digital citizenship and upload it onto our class discussion forum. Now, I'm going to ask us to upload it this time to our Edmodo site. So I'll create a new little page for us, or a little private discussion for this particular one. But I'm also going to ask you to upload it to the LMS on our discussion board. The reason for that is because it picks up plagiarism, it picks up all those sorts of things. So For the marked components, the university is asking that we have everything also uploaded to the LMS. So we have our own discussion forum, which is Edmodo, and that seems to be working really well for us, and I'd like to keep it that way. However, I'd also like to ask you to upload it to the LMS because we need to get practicing with that as well. So you've got a comic side of things. You could use Storyboard that like I showed you in the previous video, or there's other links that you can check out. Or you can create yourself a 30-second to 1-minute animation on any aspect of good digital citizenship and upload that onto YouTube. And then you're going to post the link to the animation onto our Edmodo discussion board and LMS. Now, the reason I'm asking you to do the link is because sometimes sometimes the video that you create is simply too large to be uploaded. It'll take forever at your end, and it may not come through at our end. So there is a how-to video on how to actually upload to YouTube on the LMS. So if I jump out of here, I'll take you to the LMS. Here we go. So I'm going to LMS over here. Still thinking. All right, so session 3. And you can see as we scroll down with technology how to upload a video onto YouTube. Okay, so this is our task. So you can choose, you don't have to do both. I'm just asking for one or the other. So you're either doing a comic strip or you're doing a 30-second to 1-minute animation. Okay, both are really fun. Both are fantastic to use in the classroom. So I haven't used Powtoon with my students, which is a really great animation video construction type site. But I would like to do it towards the end of the year, I think, with my year 4s because it's a little bit more technical, whereas the one I used today that I gave you an example for in our first video, it's a nice easy one to get the students started with. Now, the next element to your task is an online gallery walk. Now, a gallery walk is something that is fabulous. I do it often in the classroom. It's more difficult in an online setting. So if I was teaching you guys internally on campus, I would literally have people with their comics printed out or their videos displayed, and we would walk around just like you would in a museum, wander around and have a little bit of a look at what everybody has done. So in our instructions here, it says view one another's comics on the class discussion forum and post comments on 3 comics. Make 1 positive comment about the message, characterization, storyline or design, and list 1 way to improve the comics. There's a couple of things to think about. Say unto others as you would have them say unto you, and avoid rude or superficial comments. I'm sure I don't need to go into that. I hope that you were all mature enough not to be silly about each other's work, but we are going to do an online gallery walk for our other part of our marks, and we're going to make those comments again on our discussion boards through Edmodo. I'm not asking you to do this one through the LMS. All I want to see is Edmodo with our discussions. Okay, so for the first part, if I go back a slide, developing your comics or animation, the actual comic or the actual YouTube link needs to be uploaded to our Edmodo discussion board that I'll send out to you shortly if you haven't already received it, and to the LMS discussion board, which I'll post on shortly. And this one here, I only expect you to do the comments on our Edmodo page. Okay, and then that gives you an opportunity as well yourselves to go and review your comments about your comics. A bit of a mouthful. Comments about your comic. All right. Again, using the headlines thinking routine. So how has your headline on the use of comics and animation in teaching and learning changed based on today's discussion? So reflecting back upon what you thought in your initial headlines thinking routine activity, we did a little reflection earlier on. You can maybe now take the time yourself. I'm not asking you to post anything, just to see whether or not your views on it has changed. How does ICT facilitate meaningful learning in this concept? We've come back to our meaningful learning elements, so you can have a little bit of a think about how it fits into each of those. For next session, So you need to develop your individual comics or animations and upload onto the class discussion forum for 1.5 marks, and then your online gallery walk, and then make your comments. All right. Now, I hope that you have enjoyed this shorter version of our discussions. If there's anything that I can help you with, please make sure you contact me either directly through the LMS or Edmodo, or by email is fine as well. Okay, next week, week 4 or session 4, we are going to be discussing a lot about our assignment. So please make sure you tune in for that one. Your groups will be going out shortly for that assignment, because it is initially a part of it is a group assignment. So you need to make sure you've got good open communication with everybody. All right, enjoy your week. Happy reading, happy learning. I'll see you soon.